What if I told you that saying nothing can sometimes say everything? Silence isn't empty. It's a message, a shift, a power move. When you go silent, truly silent, something happens that words can never do. You remove yourself from his world, and suddenly he has to live in the space you left behind. That silence becomes a mirror. It forces him to sit with his thoughts, his actions, and most importantly, your absence. You see, most women don't realize this. Talking more doesn't always fix things. Explaining more doesn't always create clarity. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is disappear just long enough for him to notice what life feels like without your energy. And in this video, I'm breaking it all down day by day, because yes, he notices. Yes, he starts thinking. And yes, there's a shift that happens inside him the longer you stay silent. But here's the secret. It's not about playing games. It's about emotional gravity. You pull back and he starts to feel the imbalance. You stop chasing and suddenly he starts questioning. And by the time day 4 or day 5 hits, that silence becomes a loud echo in his mind. So if you've ever asked yourself, what is he thinking right now that I've gone quiet? You're about to get answers. Real ones. Let's dive in. Day 1. The silence is still fresh. He notices it, but he doesn't panic. At least not right away. In fact, depending on his personality and your history, his first thought might actually be, she's probably just busy. Or worse, she'll be back. There's still a little arrogance in his system at this point. He assumes you'll reach out soon because that's what you usually do. That's the rhythm he's used to. But what he doesn't know is this time is different. Still, in the back of his mind, something feels off. Something's shifted. Your usual energy, the little check-ins, the emojis, the late night calls, it's not there. And that absence is a whisper he can't quite ignore. Men are creatures of habit, and your attention has become part of his routine. Whether he admits it or not, he got used to you showing up, emotionally, energetically, physically. And now, silence, that sudden drop in interaction hits his nervous system in ways he doesn't immediately recognize. But it's there. He just can't put his finger on it yet. He might scroll through his messages, not even consciously looking for your name, but hoping to see it anyway. He might open your last conversation, maybe to reread it, maybe to feel something, or maybe just to prove to himself that you're still there, quietly watching, but you're not. And that's the part that starts to get uncomfortable. Still, his ego tells him not to react. Not yet. He tells himself you're probably trying to test him, that this is a phase, that you're trying to make a point. But here's what he won't say out loud. The fact that you haven't reached out already is throwing him off more than he expected. He might tell himself, good, I need the space. But if that were really true, he wouldn't be thinking about it this much. By the end of the day, you've officially become a question mark in his head. Not a full-blown crisis yet, but a glitch in his emotional programming. He may post something on social media, indirectly aimed at you. A story, a meme, a song lyric, just to see if you'll take the bait, if you'll bite, if you're still watching. And when he doesn't see your name on the viewer list, that's when the crack starts. His pride might still be in charge, but something deeper, the emotional memory of you, has started to stir. Silence makes him uncomfortable because it removes the safety net. When you go quiet, he can't read you. He can't predict you. And when a man can't predict a woman, she becomes a mystery. And mystery is magnetic. He may not be ready to act on it. He may not even fully admit it. But today, he felt the shift. And whether he shows it or not, he noticed that you're no longer reaching for him. That subtle energy change, that's what makes day 1 powerful. It plants a seed of doubt, a little whisper that says, what if she really meant it this time? What if she's actually done? And that seed, that's what will grow over the next few days into something much harder to ignore. Day 1 isn't dramatic. It's not loud. It's not desperate. But it's the beginning of a storm he never saw coming. And the longer you stay silent, the louder that storm becomes. Day 2 rolls around, and now he's noticing your silence in a very different way. Yesterday, he brushed it off. He told himself you were just busy, maybe needing space. But today, that same silence feels heavier. The energy is different, and he can feel it. You haven't checked in. No good morning text, no funny meme, no random just thinking about you message. And that's when the confusion really starts to creep in. He starts asking himself questions, but only internally. He won't admit them to anyone. Did I say something? Is she mad at me? Why isn't she reacting the way she usually does? The worst part for him, he doesn't know for sure what's going on, and that uncertainty makes him uncomfortable. Men are used to knowing where they stand, especially if they're used to being pursued, admired, or emotionally catered to. Your silence interrupts that expectation. It forces him to think deeper, but not with his heart, not yet. Right now, it's still his ego that's running the show. His pride kicks in as a defense mechanism. He starts to rationalize. She's just trying to get a reaction out of me. She's probably talking to someone else, whatever. I've got options too. He might even try to convince himself he doesn't care. But the truth is, he does more than he wants to admit. He just doesn't know how to process the fact that you've gone quiet without an explanation. This is when he may start testing you back. He might post something on social media, hoping to trigger a response, something subtle but calculated. A picture, a quote, a story. He might even go a little extra, acting like he's unbothered, like he's out with friends or living his best life. But it's not really about fun. It's bait. He wants to know if you're still shutting, and if you're not, that hits him. He might check your profile just to see what you're up to. Did you post something? Did you look happy without him? Did you unfollow him? That curiosity isn't accidental. It's the beginning of emotional investment. And he hates that, because when a man realizes he's starting to care more than he thought, it threatens his sense of control. By now, your silence is not just silence. It's become a statement. It says you're no longer playing by his rules. It says you're not chasing, not begging, not folding. And that's when the power dynamic starts to shift. He feels it, but he doesn't want to give it credit. So instead of sitting with that discomfort, his ego will try to flip the script. He might even get a little defensive in his mind. If she wants to act like that, I can match her energy. But deep down, that's not what he wants. That's just a reaction. He starts replaying your last conversation, looking for clues, wondering what he missed, trying to find the moment where things changed. He might ask himself, did she really mean what she said? Or worse, did I take her for granted? But again, his pride won't let him say those things out loud. Not yet. Because on day 2, confusion is still mixed with denial. He's not ready to reach out, but he's definitely not as calm as he wants to seem. Your silence is no longer background noise. It's the main thing on his mind, whether he admits it or not. And the more you hold that silence, the more it forces him to face the emotional consequences of his actions or his inaction. And that right there, that's where the power starts to build. By day 3, something starts to shift. And this time it's more than just a passing thought. Now the silence isn't just strange. It's unsettling. You haven't reached out. You haven't reacted. You haven't shown up in any of the ways he's used to. And suddenly the idea that you're just taking space doesn't feel so guaranteed anymore. This is the day his mind starts spinning stories. Some logical, some emotionally charged, all trying to answer one question. Is she really gone? He starts to feel the pressure of your absence. And not just mentally, physically. That gut feeling, that energy shift, it sits with him now. It's in the quiet moments, the late night scrolls, the random pause during his day, when he normally would have checked his phone and seen your name pop up. But now, it's just empty. And that silence, it's starting to sound louder than your words ever did. He might try to distract himself, bury himself in work, hang out with friends, dive into mindless entertainment. But you keep creeping back into his thoughts. Because humans don't crave constant connection as much as they crave certainty. And your silence has removed that. He can't predict you. He can't read your emotions. He has no clue what you're thinking or feeling. And that mystery, it's haunting him. By now, he's questioning things in a deeper way. Did she check out emotionally before she went silent? Did she meet someone else? Is she done for real this time? And here's what makes this day powerful. It's the day he starts realizing that he might have misjudged your silence entirely. What he thought was just a cool-off moment is now starting to feel like a statement, a decision, maybe even the beginning of a goodbye. This is when he starts overanalyzing. He replays every recent interaction, every text, every call, every look on your face. He's searching for signs, clues, something to confirm that he still has a hold on you. But the fact that you've gone quiet and stayed quiet, that's what's getting under his skin. If you were trying to make him jealous, you'd be posting. If you were trying to get attention, you'd be dropping hints. But you're not doing anything, and that nothing is everything. Now he's feeling the discomfort of losing control. Because let's be real, whether he showed it or not, he was used to being in the emotional driver's seat, used to knowing you were there, available, invested. And now he's starting to feel what it's like when you're not, when your energy is no longer pouring into him, when he's not the center of your emotional world. There's a growing fear creeping in, but he won't show it. Not yet. He may even try to double down on his ego, try to act nonchalant, cold, distracted. But deep inside, the thought is forming, what if I pushed her too far? What if she finally hit her limit? What if she's already moved on emotionally, and I'm just now realizing it? This is the day when silence stops being confusing and starts being threatening, because it implies strength. Detachment, a boundary he didn't expect. And suddenly he's not so sure you're going to come back around. That uncertainty is powerful. It shakes his confidence, and it plants the first real seed of panic. The kind that makes a man think, did I just lose her for real? By day 4, the silence is no longer something he can brush off. It's not just noticeable, it's now personal. This is the day something real hits him, and it doesn't come from logic. It comes from emotion, from the gut, from that sudden internal shift that makes his chest tighten in moments when everything else is quiet. That's when it clicks. She's really not reaching out. And this time, he's not so sure you will. The realization doesn't always hit like a lightning bolt. Sometimes it creeps in. Subtle but undeniable. Maybe it's when he's scrolling through his phone and sees your name, but no new messages. Maybe it's when he hears a song that reminds him of you. Or he walks by something random that triggers a memory, your laugh, your perfume, a phrase you used to say, and just like that, you're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. That's when he starts to feel the emotional weight of your absence. Not just the silence, but the emotional void. He might feel a sudden rush of regret, not always for something specific he said or did, but for everything he didn't do, the attention he didn't give, the compliments he withheld, the way he got too comfortable, assuming you'd always be there. Men often realize what they had when the energy that once filled their world completely disappears. And day 4, that's the beginning of that realization. He may start replaying your value in his life, the way you supported him, the softness in your voice, how you made things better without even trying. All those things he didn't think he needed until now. This is where ego starts to lose its grip. Because no matter how prideful he is, emotions don't lie. And when someone feels a loss, especially of something meaningful, it doesn't matter how tough they try to act. That ache is real. There's also a deep internal battle going on at this point. One part of him wants to stay in control, wait it out, not look weak, not fold first. But the other part, the human part, is craving connection, craving your presence, craving reassurance that he didn't mess things up so badly that you just gave up and walked away without a word. He starts checking your online status more than he'd admit. He notices every story you didn't post, every update you didn't share. The absence of your energy starts to feel like pressure in his chest because it's intentional. And that intention is what scares him. It tells him you're not just quiet, you're choosing to be. And if you're choosing silence, that might mean you're over it. That's when the fear of regret starts creeping in. Not full-blown yet, but it's there. He might think about reaching out, but he hesitates. Because if you don't respond, that would confirm everything he's afraid of. That he waited too long. That he took too much for granted. That you actually meant it when you went silent. By day 4, you've stopped being a maybe in his life. You've become a what if she's done, what if I lost her, what if I pushed away someone who actually cared. That emotional realization, it's heavy, and it's only going to get heavier from here. Day 5 hits differently. This isn't just silence anymore, it's distance. And that distance feels permanent now. There's no pretending this is a phase or a mood swing. He knows it. Deep down, Something has shifted. And that realization opens the door for two powerful emotions that hit him like waves: nostalgia and regret. He starts remembering the little things, not the big moments, but the ones that felt small at the time. The way you used to look at him when he wasn't paying attention. The way you gently check in on him when he seemed off, even if he didn't say anything. The sound of your laugh echoing over the phone, that one inside joke that no one else would understand. He replays these memories over and over, and every time they hit harder, because now they don't feel accessible. They feel like something that used to be his, but maybe isn't anymore. Nostalgia is tricky like that. It doesn't just remind you of the past, it makes you ache for it. And that ache, that's the space you once filled. That's the emotional imprint you left behind. And now that you're silent, he finally realizes how loud your presence used to be. It wasn't just your voice or your messages. It was your energy, your consistency, the emotional warmth you brought into his life that he didn't know he needed until it was gone. This is when regret settles in. Not the surface level, oops, I made a mistake kind of regret, but the kind that comes from knowing he had something valuable and didn't treat it with the care it deserved. He starts thinking about all the times you gave him grace, all the times you were patient, understanding, loving, and how he responded with distance, defensiveness, or indifference. And now that you've gone silent, he starts asking the questions he should have asked when you were still speaking. Why didn't I appreciate her more? Why did I act like she'd always be there? What if she never comes back? He may not say these things out loud. In fact, he might still try to act cool on the outside. But inside, he's unraveling. Because now every silence from you feels like a closed door. Every minute that goes by without a message feels like confirmation that you're slipping further away. Not just physically, but emotionally. This is the day he starts romanticizing the relationship. Even if things weren't perfect, he filters the memories now. He clings to the good parts, the soft parts. He minimizes the arguments and magnifies the affection. That's what nostalgia does. It replays the highlight reel on loop until he starts to believe he lost something irreplaceable. And that regret returns into longing. Not just to talk to you, but to rewind, to undo, to somehow fix what he broke before it's too late. But he doesn't know if he even has that chance anymore. Because the silence you're holding, it's strong, it's stable, and it's starting to feel permanent. And for the first time, he's not sure how to reach you, or if he even can. By day 5, he's not just missing you. He's mourning the version of you that used to try, the version that reached out, showed up, gave second chances. And now that she's gone silent, he's finally realizing that maybe she's never coming back. By day 6, the weight of your silence is no longer something he can sit with comfortably. It's pressing down on him. It's in his chest when he wakes up, and it's still there when he tries to fall asleep. He's gone from noticing your absence to being consumed by it. The denial, the ego, the pride, they've all started to lose their grip. And what's taking over now? That uncontrollable, gnawing urge to reach out. He's picking up his phone more often than he realizes, opening the chat with your name on it, staring at it, typing something, deleting it, typing again, backspacing, sitting with his thumb hovering over send. But he doesn't do it, not yet, because even though he desperately wants to feel close to you again, his mind is still fighting his emotions. Pride still whispers, don't fold first. Ego still says, she left you unread. Leave her wondering. But that voice is getting quieter now, because the louder voice, the one coming from his heart, is saying, you miss her. Just tell her. He starts imagining what would happen if he did reach out. Would you respond? Would you ignore it? Would you be cold? Or worse, would you be calm, detached, indifferent? That's what scares him. Because the risk isn't just rejection. The risk is finding out that he waited too long, that your silence wasn't a pause, it was a goodbye. That fear plays tug of war with his need for control. He might scroll through old messages, trying to find something he can use as a way back in. Something casual, something safe. Maybe he thinks about sending a meme you'd both laugh at, or a just checking in message disguised as nonchalant. But deep down, he knows none of that is enough. Because this isn't just about restarting a conversion. This is about restoring connection. And he doesn't know how to do that anymore. His thoughts race. Should I apologize? Would that make me look weak? What if she moved on? Every possibility runs through his head, and yet he still hasn't sent anything. Because now it's not about who reaches out first. It's about what reaching out means. It means he has to drop the act. Admit he feels something. Admit that he's not okay with this distance anymore. And for a man who's been used to control, that level of vulnerability is terrifying. He may test the waters in other ways. Maybe he watches your story and hopes you notice. Maybe he likes an old post. Maybe he casually texts, hey, and hopes you'll take the bait. But he knows deep down that no little gesture is going to undo the days of silence you've held with such grace. And that's where the pressure builds, because the longer he waits, the more the silence grows. And the more it grows, the scarier it becomes to break. What makes day 6 so intense is that he's right at the edge, that moment before the leap. He's thinking about you constantly, imagining your voice, your face, the way you used to respond instantly, and realizing he misses it all. And it's not about control anymore. It's about connection. It's about regret. It's about longing. The urge to reach out isn't just emotional, it's instinctual. Like his heart is screaming for a release, and yet he hesitates because he's not sure if he still has a place in your world. And in that hesitation, the silence continues, louder than ever, more powerful than he ever imagined it could be. Day 7 is different. There's no more pretending, no more posturing, no more games. Today, the silence breaks him. Not because of something you said, but because of everything you didn't. The quiet strength you've held all week has now created a storm inside him, one he can't escape no matter how hard he tries. He's not just missing you now, he's aching. And today, he's done analyzing, second-guessing, holding back. The emotional walls he once hid behind, they've crumbled. Because when a man sits long enough in the absence of someone who truly mattered, something inside him shifts. His pride, which once felt like power, now feels like a prison. Every day he stayed silent, hoping you'd cave first, only tighten the chains around his own heart. And now, he can't take it anymore. He doesn't care about who's winning anymore. The silence isn't a game to him now, it's a loss, a real personal loss. And it feels heavy, unbearable, because for the first time, he realizes this isn't about just hearing from you, it's about feeling you again. Feeling your energy, your warmth, your presence. He wants it all back, and he finally understands what it's like to not have it. So he does it. He finally reaches out. It might be a short message or a long one. Maybe it starts with, hey, or I've been thinking, or even just your name. But behind those few words, there's an entire storm of emotion. His hands might shake, his heart races, because he knows this message matters. It's not just another text. It's a surrender, a crack in the armor he's worn all week. It's him saying, I can't take the distance anymore. He might not come out and say everything. He might still hold a little back. But you'll feel the shift in his tone, in his timing, in the way he reaches out, not just to talk, but to reconnect, to rebuild, to redeem something he thought he could afford to lose, but now realizes he couldn't. And when he sends that message, he doesn't know what to expect. Maybe you won't respond. Maybe you'll take your time. Maybe you've moved on. But for the first time in a long time, none of that matters more than being honest. Real, vulnerable. Because the silence didn't just show him your absence, it showed him your value. This is the moment when he realizes that silence wasn't punishment. It was power. Your power. And it worked. It made him stop, reflect, break. And in that breaking, he found something rare. Clarity. Clarity about how much you meant, about what he lost, and about what he's willing to do now to get it back. Day 7 isn't about you giving in. It's about him finally facing the truth that you were never asking too much. He was just giving too little. And now, he's ready to show up. If you'll still let him. Silence, when used with intention, is not passive. It's not weakness. It's not you avoiding or escaping. It's power. And when you use it the right way, it's the loudest statement you'll ever make. You don't have to beg, chase, or prove your worth. Your silence already speaks volumes. And when you hold it with confidence, like a queen, everything around you shifts, including him. You see, a queen doesn't respond to chaos with more chaos. She doesn't scream for attention or demand validation. She doesn't force someone to value her. Instead, she chooses silence. Not because she has nothing to say, but because she knows her energy is sacred. She knows that if someone wants access to her world, they'll have to come correct. They'll have to feel her absence, not just hear her voice. When you go silent, it's not about playing games. It's about stepping back into your power. It's about showing that you refuse to be part of one-sided effort, emotional confusion, or hot and cold dynamics. You are not here to teach someone how to treat you with words. You're here to demonstrate it with your actions. And silence is the most elegant way to do exactly that. Because here's what most women don't realize. Your energy is your currency. Every time you respond to someone who doesn't respect you, you're investing in something that gives no return. But when you choose silence, you stop making deposits into people who never earned your presence in the first place. And that's how you protect your peace. That's how you elevate. A queen knows that if a man truly cares, he'll feel the distance. He'll notice the void. And if he's emotionally mature, he'll reflect on what caused it. If he's not, then your silence just revealed that he was never meant to sit at your table in the first place. Either way, silence delivers clarity. It removes confusion. It forces people to face themselves. But here's the key. You can't just go silent and wait. You go silent and heal. You grow. You build. You pour into yourself. Because silence without self-work is just avoidance. But silence paired with self-love, that's transformation. That's when your glow-up becomes undeniable. That's when the same people who took you for granted start asking themselves, how did I lose her? So use your silence intentionally. Don't fold because of temporary discomfort. Don't respond because you miss the idea of him. Remember what your silence taught you. Remember how much peace you felt when you weren't anxiously waiting for a reply. That peace, that's your standard now. Don't trade it for breadcrumbs. And if he does come back, let his actions speak. Let him show consistency, effort, growth, because your silence isn't just a test for him. It's a reminder for you of how strong you are, how far you've come, and how much you've evolved. A queen doesn't break down when she's silent. She builds, she levels up. She becomes unshakable. So the next time you feel tempted to break your silence, just to feel seen, just to feel heard, pause. Remind yourself, a woman who knows her worth never has to raise her voice to be felt. Her energy is enough. Her silence is powerful. Her presence is rare. And anyone who's meant to be in her life will rise to meet her. This is how you use silence like a queen.